What is up with it? Today we are going to be watching some Shanks versus Bonney. The Shanks being about 7 billion bounty, the Bonney being about 4.6 billion bounty. Currently, that is about top 15 on ladder. Around there is where both of these players are, and we're going to go ahead and see the Shanks keep and the Bonney mulligan. The Bonney ending up with a Smoker, a Cavendish, a Rosinante, a Tashigi, and a Scratchman Appo. Not a bad hand, finding a couple 5-drops while going first. Finding the Rosie and the Tashigi in particular should be very helpful versus a deck that wants to remove some of your pieces. And the Shanks going second, finding the Lucky Roo and the Yasop and the Dragon for their curve, along with a couple 2Ks. So we'll go ahead and get into it. The Bonney, of course, passing on 1 Dawn. We're going to go ahead and drop the 10-drop Shanks. We're going to draw it, rather. So the Shanks player definitely finding his curve. We're going to go ahead and find that 9-drop Zoro. I'll be interested to see if we find an opportunity to play that out. We're going to go ahead and take a damage as the Shanks player. And as the Bonney, we will play out the Rosinante. Gonna go ahead and draw that Rayleigh, of course, a very powerful card. Something you love to see. Arguably the strongest red card in the game. That's what I would vote for personally. We have a couple Hody Jones, so we're finding our top end, surely. Okay, so this Smoker character accidentally standing 2 Dawn looks like maybe a little bit of a bugaboo, but shouldn't be too big of a deal. We don't play any events where that might get confusing anyways. And then what happened here? We had okay, we rested the Lucky Roo. The pause button does not appear to be working. Okay, there we go. So we rested and we took and then we drew. Okay. So now we're going to go ahead and swing 8. Which will go ahead and be leader skilled and 2K'd. Double 2K'd. I want this to slow down a bit. There we go. And we'll go ahead and play the Cavendish into the Tashigi. Not a problem. We should be able to Rayleigh into minus the Smoker and pop the Tashigi. And then we'll just go ahead and swing over the Smoker. Our opponent does not have enough counter. As soon as we swing 6 into 4, we could block and then 2K. That's definitely something we could consider, but I think ultimately deciding that the Smoker is not important enough. 5 into 6. Okay. Oh, so we did decide to block and counter. Interesting. So we'll go ahead and swing the Cavendish, getting 2 Dawn back. We're going to go ahead and leader skill plus 1K. We don't want to go down too low as our opponent. Oh, so we're going to go ahead and swing 6 at the Yasop, which will take out a 2K. And we're not going to swing the Smoker. Realizing we don't have enough cards in hand to protect it, so we don't necessarily want to put it sideways. We're more comfortable putting the Cavendish sideways, as we are going to eventually lose it to the Lucky Roo anyways. A little interesting that we decided to play out the Shanks before swinging Rayleigh. I feel like we could have swung the Rayleigh and then played the Shanks, and then like just our Yasop gets arrested instead of our Rayleigh. I can't really think of any reasons why playing the Shanks first is better. I mean, I understand that like when we first swing into the thing, it's going to be smaller because we have this Shanks on board, but I don't think that necessarily really matters. Like, it's still better for us to swing this first. So interesting decision. We're gonna go ahead and counter the 5 from leader. And now this Zoro, you know, we were able to stick a Zoro, which theoretically should be an auto win button. We're going to go ahead and attach 6 Dawn. So this is an 8, so it's a 14, and then we're going to go ahead and leader skill on it, which should put it down to 13, I believe. Yep, so we're able to just 2K out of that. And we're going to go ahead and do it a second time. But this time, actually, we're just swinging at the... okay, so they blocked the second one. And then the third one, they gave them the 0 cost event. So really going all in to protect this Shanks. That seems pretty reasonable to me. And then we're going to go ahead and swing 6 at 6. And then I imagine we're going to go ahead and swing... Oh, we're actually not going to swing the smoker. That's really interesting. Interesting. So we're going to go ahead and minus these 2. We're going to go ahead and pop that Tashigi, or the smoker rather. We're going to go ahead and swing a few times, and this is really looking strong for the Shanks player. Maybe we didn't commit quite enough Dawn to our Zoro. We could have added a couple more to make it a little bit bigger to try and really... Oh, I mean, this helps. This helps. If we can start chaining 10 drop Doflamingos, that really helps. I'm not exactly sure why we had a couple Dawn activate there, but that is okay. We're gonna go ahead and swing 17 at 5. They went and took. Our board is frozen. These 3 are frozen, so that's why we did it like that. We're gonna go ahead and swing 5. We're gonna go ahead and swing 10 or 9 at 8 rather, and it's going to go ahead and die, and then we're going to freeze these last 3 things. But the problem is our opponent has an Uta on board, so even though these 3 things are frozen, we are going to go ahead and still be able to okay, it's not this Shanks that swung, it's the other one, but we're going to go ahead and counter up to 13. Actually, we had the counter to survive. The problem is our opponent is still at 4 life. So even with the Hody, we're just not going to be able to get there. So really fascinating game. Maybe a bit of a misstep if we were able to successfully swing over the Shanks on that one turn with our Zoro. Maybe there's a world where we could have got there. We did really find our curve as both players. So I'm not sure. I'm really not sure, but thank you all for rocking with me. I know there's still a few bugs on the replay system. It is getting better every single day, and I am sure it's going to be perfect soon. I appreciate you all so much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.